Hi, Brittany. I'm Brian. Nice to meet you and good to have talked to you on the phone the other day. Why don't we start? Just give me kind of a brief recap of what brought you here today.
Um, I have recently graduated with my bachelor's in business, and I am wanting to go and get my master's, my MBA, um, at Pepperdine University.
Great.
Because my boyfriend is going to be doing he's going to be getting his law degree there. Um, but my mom is wanting me to go back. I'm originally from Oklahoma. My mom is wanting me to go back and work for my Indian tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we're just having some issues with where my life should go from here.
Okay. Um, Kind of help me understand as somebody kind of on the outside, but definitely wanting to see what it's like being on the inside. Kind of help me understand where you think mom's coming from on this.
Um, well, my family is Choctaw.
Mm-hmm.
We is In the Native American culture, it's very important for us, and my mom definitely, my whole family agrees with it, but especially my mom, that she really wants me to come and do work for the tribe. It's very important to her in our culture. Individual success isn't it's not looked as something that only the individual um, accomplishes. It's sort of looked at as something that the whole family accomplishes. And so my mom is wanting me to come back and work for the tribe because she feels like it would bring honor to our family.
Okay. Would you, now you're young, so you may not remember this, but years and years ago, Hillary Clinton, President Clinton's wife, had used a phrase that came out of African culture: it takes a village to raise a child. Is that kind of within the tribe, kind of how it's looked at? We each kind of played a role in this great success that happened here that culminated with this degree. Is that kind of where mom's coming from looking at it?
Very much so. It's not like even when I got accepted into college, my entire family, we're talking aunts, uncles, grandparents. I mean, even people who were just in the tribe who were close neighbors. I mean, even they felt like they all had something to do with it. They threw a big party, and they definitely felt like they had somehow contributed to my success.
Okay, so everybody was proud of
Yes.
this accomplishment. And in a way, I didn't ask you your feeling about it, but there's something that's kind of nice about that to me, that everybody's kind of proud of you and everybody kind of feels like we've got a piece of that. Do you feel that, or does it ever sometimes feel a little annoying to feel like you don't have the complete independence of saying this was my accomplishment? What's your feeling?
I mean, it definitely. I liked that everybody was happy for me, except in a way it didn't really feel like they were happy for me, almost that they were happy for themselves, that they had something to do with that. And so it at times can be very, it can make me feel good because I'm glad that they feel like they had something to do with it, but at times it can be annoying because I do, like, you know, if I do accomplish something in life, I feel like, it almost makes me feel like, well, did I accomplish it or did my family accomplish it? So it almost, in a way, kind of takes away from my success. And I feel bad because I do sort of hold the aspect of our culture to be true. I think it's awesome that we feel that way, but at times I definitely wish I could sort of say, no, I'm the one that did it. I'm the one that studied for the tests. I'm the one that got the good grades. I'm the
You're
one
the one
that
that put
got
a lot of hard work in it,
exactly.
at least in terms of that
That
outside
no one was
work.
there helping me study for the test.
Okay.
It was all me. So
A lot of, maybe not all, but a lot of cultures evolve. They change and are in a constant state of change, some faster than others. Do you feel like, in looking at, this is what mom wants and it's very important to her, and you're kind of wanting to do this thing where you're going to kind of venture out on your own, do you ever feel like you're kind of caught in the middle of some kind of evolution within the culture? And what I mean by that is mom because she is a generation before you, mom maybe has that before you generation view of what that means for you to have accomplished this. And you're a generation later, and would you say your generation has evolved somewhat in the way they view that? And is that part of your willingness to be able to make that move?
I mean, I definitely feel like my mom's view is definitely, you know, old fashioned. It's definitely
Okay.
from the generation before. Because I mean, I'm not the only one. I have friends that are in the tribe with me who feel like they want to make something of themselves on their own. So yes, I would definitely say that I feel like in a way my mom is old fashioned in her thinking.
Let's shift gears for a minute. You're wanting to, you said you and your boyfriend, rather than us saying your boyfriend, what's your boyfriend's name?
His name is Ryan.
Okay. You and Ryan are wanting to go to Pepperdine, you said?
Yes.
And what is Ryan wanting to study?
He's wanting to get his law degree.
Okay. All right. And you're wanting to
I get an MBA, master's.
to get an MBA. All right. So I'm assuming both of those. Well, I guess law school is maybe a little bit longer than the MBA, although I don't have any expertise in either. So let's just guess that they are they pretty close?
They're about it's I think the law degree is about a little bit, maybe a year longer,
Okay.
maybe, but it's
All
about the same.
All right. So y'all are going to move to Pepperdine, or move to Malibu, go to Pepperdine, and so roughly y'all will finish roughly about the same time. What's your plan? Have y'all looked towards goals? I mean, to me, Malibu's beautiful. Don't know if I'd ever want to leave, but it's expensive to live. What would be your plan?
Well, him and I dated all through our undergrads. We met our sophomore year, so not all of it, most of it.
Mm-hmm.
But we have seriously talked about and considered marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We do know we both feel very strongly about finishing our masters first, because we know that that there's high stress if in the beginning of any marriage, but especially if you both or even one is still in school. So we know we want to finish that. So we know for sure we'll be there at least 2 or 3 years. But we have talked about getting married and staying there for a few years. The exact time frame we haven't really discussed, but we would like to stay there for at least a few years after we graduate, to get jobs and get the experience, sort of away from both of our families.
So in these discussions about marriage and kind of future things, have y'all discussed, do you see yourself having kids?
We do. We both want kids.
All right, very good. And so would the idea of having children, would this fall in line with this, finishing the degrees, getting out, you begin getting that background experience, him fresh with a degree in law and you with your MBA, and you're all going to get that experience. Would the natural progression be that the kids would come within, a few years of getting out? And would these kids grow up and be part of the Malibu surf culture? Do you see them staying there with y'all? And are y'all staying there and having kids?
We, like I said, we haven't discussed a full time frame. I mean, I could see us having maybe start our family there, but I have always sort of thought it would be sort of nice to go back to where I grew up, to be closer to my family, and we haven't really fully discussed that between him and I, but he really likes my mom and dad. He gets along with them very well, and I don't really see that being a problem. Like I said, we haven't really discussed it in depth, but I could see us starting a family there. I'm not sure if we would actually raise our family there.
In Malibu.
Right. Yes. Yeah. In Malibu, I see us. I could see us going back to the Oklahoma area.
Does your family like Ryan?
They do. Yeah. They get along very well. I was very nervous. They are very much about the Native American heritage, and he's not Native American. He's white. But they do not have a problem with that at all. And I think in a way, my parents would be happy if he came back and maybe even worked for the tribe as well.
All
So.
right. Let's do this. Between now and the next time that we get together, I want you to talk with Ryan first and kind of go over with him the things we've discussed, including the idea that it's crossed your mind to move back at some point with the family. And our culture is something that can be so rich to all of us. Our background, our culture, where we came from, what we grew up to believe. And even though you and Mom are not seeing completely eye to eye on this, I'm also hearing a lot of pride in your culture and different things that you have said. And so talk with Ryan, kind of throw this past him, that nothing has to be set in stone at this point, but see if he's amiable to the idea. You sound like you think that he would be. See what he thinks about that. And then I'd like you to have a follow-up conversation with Mom. And how I would like you to frame this is the important to get a good, solid education. Pepperdine is considered one of the better universities in the country. You would be able to get a good, solid MBA there. They've got a good law school at Pepperdine. Talk with Mom about the idea of a quality education. And then at some point when that's done, that you and Ryan have talked about the possibility of moving back home, being with your family and with your people, but you would be much better prepared with professional educations to be able to work within the tribe with your people in a way that can help them maybe far more than what you could if you were to try to move back now and not get that graduate school behind you. And talk with that, see what Mom thinks about that. And at some point, maybe even a conversation including Ryan, because you said your family likes him and he really likes them. And see if that's something y'all really feel like you could commit to, sitting down and having a conversation. Because I know your family's important to you. You wouldn't consider moving back. And so we want for Mom to feel like you're able to honor some of those cultural things that are important. And might be an opportunity also when you're home to seek out some of the opinions of some other people within your family and within your tribal culture. Thank you for coming in today, and take care of that, and then we'll see you back next week.
Okay.
All right, thanks.